Camille here. We are just 2 days away from the fall launch of Young Adults at IVC, and I could not be more excited to gather with you again. It has been far too long since we last saw each other, and so I can't wait to see your faces. But before you meet us on Thursday at 7 p.m., there's just a few things I want to tell you about. One is our series. We are meeting this fall every Thursday night for 7 weeks, and our series is titled Good News People, How the Good News of Jesus Impacts Everything. We believe that the good news is so important to your daily life and that it's not just for Sunday morning. It impacts every area of your life, from relationships to career to reconciliation to spiritual and emotional health and so much more. And we have an incredible lineup of speakers who are pre-recording their messages. We're going to send it out to you on Monday morning so that you can watch that between Monday and Thursday and then discuss the truth that they talk about in your groups on Thursday nights. This message was partly inspired by a quote from Dr. Tony Evans that says, "The gospel is narrow in content, but wide in scope." And it's that wide in scope portion that we're going to be talking about, how the gospel literally touches every part of our lives. We believe that this series reveals a human need, and the gospel points us to the God who meets that need. He shapes us and he meets us in that specific need. And so our hope is that young adults would see the good news of Jesus in a new way, that you would connect in community with others who are like you, that you would begin to change your life, and that you would become someone who reflects the good news of Jesus to the world, that we would all become good news people. And so we're inviting you to join us on this 7-week journey as we explore what it means to live as good news people in the world. So that's the first thing. The second thing is how we're going to gather. You may have seen our Instagram or Facebook, social media, and telling you a little bit about how our groups are going to work. But I just want to make sure that you understand we have 2 ways to gather. One, virtually. If you're at home, if you're traveling, wherever you are, you can always gather with us virtually on Zoom. You can choose that option and be placed in a small group of people with a leader who's meeting with you weekly on Zoom to discuss what it means to be a good news person. And then the other way to gather is in person. IBC has graciously allowed us to gather in the parking lot where we can do that safely outside, socially distant. And so we're going to do that. You can meet us at IBC on Thursday nights and choose to gather in person. We're going to ask that you bring your own chair so that we don't have facilities, doesn't have to clean down 50 different chairs, and it's more comfortable anyway to sit in your own camp chair. So bring your own chair and wear a mask. I know we'll be outside and socially distant, but we're still going to ask that you wear a mask anytime that you are moving around the parking lot, whether you're going from your chair to the car or going to the welcome tent or talking to a friend off to the side. We're going to ask that you wear a mask. The only time that you can take off your mask is really when you're seated in your group. You're free to take that off and then talk more freely with those in your group. Those are just a few of the guidelines that we have in place to keep you safe and to ensure that we are all healthy and that we can continue gathering for these 7 weeks. For the in-person groups, in the event that there's bad weather, we will let you know ahead of time so that then you can jump on Zoom and gather with us and we can still meet together in our groups. We're going to ask this year or this season that you would gather with the same group. In the past, we have allowed you guys the freedom to move around from group to group each week. And this time, we really want you to plug into one group. We believe this content is so important and it builds on each other as we go through the week. And we want you to be able to be in conversation with people who are similar to you, building on the content as we go through the 7 weeks. Plus, it helps our leaders care for you well. If they know that you're going to be in the group with them, then they can contact you and they know how to care for you and follow up with you as we go throughout the semester. And then lastly, the maybe not as fun part is just for contact tracing. In the event that anyone does get sick, we at least know that they've been in this group and we can notify everyone in the group if someone does get sick. Now, we hope that that doesn't happen, and that's our prayer, but those are just a few of the reasons why we want you to stick with your group. And the same goes for those of you who are gathering virtually. We want you to stick with the group for those reasons that we listed before of building on the content, getting to know your group members, and being able to care for one another and have our leaders care well for you. We are so excited to have you join us again. We are so thankful that the Lord has provided two ways for us to gather in this really strange and weird season. And we are just so thankful that you have been on this journey with us, that you have stuck it out with us since March with all of the changes with COVID and everything. And we can't wait to see you. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to reach out to any of the Young Adult Ministry staff, and we would love to help you enjoy your time. If you're on Instagram, the link to register is in our bio. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, the link is listed below. So you can still register. There's still time, and even bring a friend. So we'll see you soon. Bye.